Right. Okay. So my name is Dion, and I'm here with my colleagues from the Health and Social Care team. So we will do our very best to welcome you in your induction, and then just briefly explain what the course in health and social care entails. So, what sorts of units and assessment you will have once we start in September. Okay, so we'll start by introducing ourselves in a bit, and then we'll give you a brief journey through some of the units and assessments that we have, and then we can finalize with questions. Okay, so we would like to make this as interactive as possible. Um, so if you can, just take part either using the microphone or the chat stream. Okay, so if we could then just move on to the next slide. Uh, and then each of us can introduce themselves quickly before we move on to the next parts, okay? So we are going to do this in order as it appears on the screen there for you, okay?
Okay, hi everyone. I'm the first one on the list, and my name is Eric Kariki. I teach on the level 2 program, which normally lasts for 1 year.
Eric, I think you've put yourself on mute again. We can't hear you.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Can you hear
that's
me?
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay. So my name Eric Kariuki. I'm the first on the list there, and I teach both level 2 and level 3 health and social care. And more critically, I teach the exam units. So I'll definitely meet everyone on here when you come to class for either level 2 or level 3 for the exams. Thank you.
Right, who's next? Could we have Victoria next? Rahima?
Yeah, I'll go next. So my name's Rahima. I'm one of the health and social care teachers here. I teach on level 2 and level 3. And just like Eric, I also teach one of the exam units as well on your first year. Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Tanya. I'm one of the teachers that teach level 2 and level 3. Level 2, I teach 3 different units, and level 3, I teach 2 units. Yep, next.
Victoria?
Right, hello everyone, I'm Victoria and I teach on the level 2 and the level 3, anatomy and physiology, and other units as well, like the care values at level 2 and impact of nutrition on level 2, okay, and at level 3, anatomy and physiology, which is an exam unit. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if we could then move on, as we introduce some of the information on the other slides, you can hear more about the teachers, okay? Then, as I said earlier, if you have any questions, anything that is not clear, or any technical issues, just let us know by either using the microphone or the chat stream, okay? So, just to capture a bit of what health and social care is, obviously, We cover and explore topics that relate to the healthcare side of things and also to the social care support that individuals may require at different stages of their life. And because you will be learning, and hopefully in the future, depending on your career options, you may also be working with individuals who are normally defined as vulnerable. And then for you to be able to learn to begin with and then to work with these people, you need a certain set of skills which will help you support them in the best way possible. So this takes us to the first exercise that we would like to try with you. If you could just think about what sorts of skills and qualities you would need, first of all, as a student, as a health and social care student, and then later on as a health and social care professional. Okay, so I would ask you to just take a minute or two to think about it, and then you can share your ideas using the chat stream. Then we can sum those up, and then we build from there to talk about, what would be what we would be expecting from you once you started studying with us, if that's okay. Yeah, does that make sense to everyone? Any questions? Good, thank you. So if anything comes to head, like skills and qualities, please just use the chat stream and then list them on there, and then we can go over them quite quickly. Okay, thank you. Ladies and gents, please use the, yes, communication. Here they come. Okay. Right, can we try some more, and can we get at least one from each person? Good stuff. Yes, we're seeing a few things coming up now. Great. Yes, communication, a skill, really important. Resilience, yes. Obviously, quite hardworking. That motivation to always go forward. Team working skills, that's quite good because you will be working in teams or in pairs from time to time. Confidence, definitely, considering the different assessments that you might have, including presentations or role plays, even for assignments like essays and exams. Confidence is quite important. Working together again, knowledge, active listening, that's parts of communication, but that's really, really important. And empathy, yes, definitely. Right, as we said, we tend to work with vulnerable people, and even in the classroom we're very different. So empathy and patience are things that are really, really important when it comes to health and social care, really. So nice one, really well done. Now it seems that you have, which is quite good, you have quite a good foundation, a good idea of the sorts of skills and qualities that that would help you succeed as a health and social care student. So we will, in the next slide, Victoria will talk to you a bit more about these skills and qualities, so we can just contextualize it when it comes to health and social care. So thank you for taking part.
Right, thank you, Dion. Right, hi guys. So in health and social care, because you're going to be working with vulnerable individuals, you need to have something called the 6Cs, which is the NHS 6Cs of care that we have to follow. Okay, and those are the 6Cs: caring, competence, communication. Just like I could see on the chat, someone mentioned communication. Courage, you need to have courage, compassion, and commitment. Okay, so these are the skills that is required of individuals working within the health and social care area. Okay, so when we say caring, what does that mean? Anyone? You can use the chat. Feel free to use the chat. When we say caring, anyone? What does it mean to care? Just in simple terms, what do you understand by caring as a skill to have? Feel free to use the chat. Yeah, being kind, being sympathetic to one another. Well done. Being kind. We can also say caring is helping one another. Well done. Yeah. So caring could be looking after an individual. Yeah. Which is the vulnerable individuals that you're going to be looking after or you're going to be working with. Well done for those responses. We also have competence is a skill that is required of us when we work within the health and social care profession. So again, let's use the chat to say what we feel competence is. What does it mean to be competent, to have a competent skill as an individual? Yeah, go for it, use the chat. Being competent, what does it mean? Anyone? What does it mean to be competent? Right, while we wait for the response from competence, let's move on to communication as well. Yeah, competence is being hardworking. Okay, well done. Any more? Being competent as a professional. Being competent as a professional. Having the correct knowledge to succeed. Well done. Well done. Well done for those responses. Then we move on to communication. Communication. What does it mean to communicate? Anybody? Use the chat. Feel free to use the chat. So these are the skills that are required by us because we're going to be working within the NHS. We're going to be working with vulnerable people. We're going to be taking up various professions that my colleagues are going to talk to you about in a few moments. Yeah. So communication is talking to people, to speak to people. Yeah. Passing information. We can also say communication is passing information to others. Yeah, through various means. So this could be verbal, non-verbal, through your body language, through eye contact, okay? And carrying out this skill in a professional manner. Yeah, comforting others, to speak to people, to talk to people. Well done for all your responses. Then we have courage as a skill. What does it mean to be courageous, to have courage as a professional? Feel free to use the chat, everyone. To have courage as a skill, what does that mean? What comes to your mind as a professional to say you have courage? Well done, everybody, for your responses. Courage is being brave. Well done. To be confident. Well done. To be motivated. Absolutely. Well done. Brilliant. Feeling comfortable and with doing something. Well done. Okay. So like I said, we're going to be going through those professions in a minute. Okay, but well done for all those responses in terms of the 6 C's. So you need to have all the skills as a health and social care professional, as a health and social care worker. So we've gone through caring, competence, communication, and courage. Yep. Then we have compassion. This is a very important skill that we all need to have as part of the 6 C's. Okay, what does compassion mean? Anyone? Feel free to use the chat. Compassion. Having compassion towards an individual. So what does that word compassion mean as part of the 6 C's? Feel free to use the chat, guys. Well done for all your responses so far. Yeah, to show empathy. Well done. For instance, if you're going to be looking after someone, you need to be able to show compassion. You need to be able to put yourself in their situation. Yeah, especially in sensitive situation. Well done for that response. To show empathy and sensitivity towards their circumstances because they are vulnerable, remember? Well done. To bring people together, okay? Being happy to one another in times of trouble. Absolutely. Well done. Because they would have gone through various circumstances of life and you need to have that compassion for them. Yeah, as a professional. And you need to exhibit this skill throughout within your profession. Well done. And finally, we have commitment. Everybody needs to be committed to what they're doing, isn't it? So finally, let me get your responses of what you think commitment means. Commitment. Yeah, feel free to determine. Well done. I like that response. To be determined. Yes. As a professional, you need to be determined towards your role, to carry out your role. Okay. As a student, you need to be committed to your coursework, to your deadlines. Likewise, bringing you up as a professional to be committed, to be determined. Yeah, to be determined and bold. Well done. Doing whatever it takes. Well done. Responsibility. Well done. Dedicated. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, everybody. So those are the 6 C's. Those are the 6 C's that you need to have as a skill within the health and social care profession as a health and social care worker. And as you can see, it is a set skill within the NHS. Okay, so well done everyone for those feedback. I hope you're able to gain something from that session. My time is up now and I'm going to pass on to my colleague. Okay, if you have any questions towards the end, we'll take your questions and I'll pass it on to my colleague. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. So what you see on the screen is just a very basic job profile of midwives, and we got this from the Prospects website. They've got lots and lots of jobs on there. So if you do a quick type on Google, then you'll be able to find all of this information about their roles and responsibilities, about the salary, the working hours, what to expect, and also the qualifications. It's really, really important to have a look at these job profiles so that you can start tailoring your experience and your qualifications so that you can start aiming towards securing a job in those areas. A lot of our students study health and social care, and they go off to university. Many of them do nursing, midwifery, and a few of them go into social work and teaching as well. So we do offer a number of workshops and things like that as well in trying to explore which careers you are looking to go into. As Dion said earlier, if anybody does have any questions, then just pop them in the chat and we'd be more than happy to answer them as we're going along. Dawn, do you want to pick up from the next slide? Is she there?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon. Okay, so we're looking at the role of the midwife this afternoon. As Rahima said, if you have any questions, if you just pop them in the chat. I'd like you to spend a couple of minutes thinking about the role of a midwife. What do you think a midwife actually does? I'd like you to also think about some positives of being a midwife and some negatives. I'm just going to give you maybe about 3 minutes. Have a think about it. Down one positive and one negative to being a midwife. So I'm going to set my timer now. So I shall just give you 3 minutes.
Right, we have some answers coming up now. Well done.
Okay, so we're getting some good responses in now. So Leon has got one positive of being a midwife. You have to be determined to do the job. A very good point. One thing you can come across as slightly negative if there's too much pressure. So one negative aspect is, yes, being a midwife can be very pressurizing. So Mel, yeah, well done. Midwives help the mother both physically and mentally. Layla, they guide the mothers, especially first-time mothers. Well done. Doing everything in 1 minute can be very stressful. You're absolutely right. And for some, that can be a good thing, but it can be very mentally and physically challenging for the midwives and the mothers. Well done. So those of you who are thinking about becoming midwives, often it's a role which is very glorified. Yes. And yes, at the end of the day, you may have a healthy mum, you may have a healthy baby. You need to think about other aspects, such as Hannah has just mentioned, the fact that you could have preterm births. And if you have a preterm birth, there is also the possibility of the child being born with some sort of special needs, or even worse, the child may die. Being a midwife, okay, has lots of positive aspects, and also there's very many negative aspects to being a midwife. Babies come up whatever time they feel to choose, so it's not a 9-to-5 job. So these are some areas you need to think about. It's not a 9-to-5 job. Babies are not always born healthy. Mum sometimes doesn't want baby. Sometimes babies are born with life-threatening illnesses, including sometimes premature birth and substance withdrawal. So those of you who are thinking about becoming midwives, make sure you do your research. Use the link which Rahima mentioned, www.prospects, and have a really good look at both sides of being a midwife. Does anyone else have any more questions before I move you on to the next member of staff? Any more questions about becoming a midwife? Dion. Okay, well, yeah, this is where compassion and being caring come into play. Yeah, you have to be a very compassionate person to be a midwife, and that is in line with the 6 C's, which Victoria was talking about earlier, and Dion has just reminded me about. Any more questions? Okay, so the next slide is professionals, other professionals in health and social care. So I'll move you over to the next member of staff. Oh, can boys become midwives? Yes. Dion's smiling. Yes, they can. Okay. It's important you do some additional research on this, but there's nothing preventing from boys, stroke men becoming midwives. Any more questions? Okay, fine. So can we move on to the next slide, which is other professionals in health and social care? Thank you.
Thanks, Dawn. That was a fantastic question, Leon. Thank you for that. But yes, boys can most definitely be midwives. There are actually many male midwives in the NHS. So this slide just outlines lots of different careers that you can go into in health and social care that you may not have thought about. And there are actually more than this as well. So there are lots and lots of different areas that you can go into. And on your 2-year course, in your level 3 2-year course throughout the 2 years, you will touch upon lots and lots of these careers. We've got loads of case studies. We've got a lot of it does come up in your exams as well. So we will be looking at all of these different careers as well. Okay, let's just see who's next. I think this is Eric. Eric?
No, it's Tanya. Okay, hi guys. Like I said before, I'm one of the level 2 teachers, and I also teach level 3. So for level 2, there's different types of units. Okay, so the first unit you'll look at is human human lifespan development, which is an exam unit. Then you'll also be taught on the health and social care values. There's effective communication. There's promoting health and well-being, which is another exams unit. There's the impact of nutrition on health and well-being. There's equality and diversity. There's human body system and care disorders. There's services in health and social care, and there's also creative and therapeutic activities in health and social care. So since I teach level 2, so one of the 3 units I'll be teaching is equality and diversity, which looks at different types of discriminations in health and social care and how to promote non-discriminatory practice. I also teach services in health and social care, which looks at the local provisions and different types of health and social care services. For example, primary care, voluntary care, and etc. And also the last one I'll be teaching is the creative and therapeutic activities in health and social care. Through this unit, we'll be looking at different types of creative and therapeutic activities that are suitable for health and social care service users. And that's it. So moving on to RQF level 3 units. Eric, I think you're next.
Hi, Rahima. If you can move it to level 3 then, please. Right. So the level 3 is the equivalent to the A-level provision in this college. So when you finish the BTech level 3 program, which is normally a 2-year course, it basically means you're as good as an A-level student and you're able to now apply for a course at university. So those careers that we've just seen, or those different professions you've just been highlighted on, like midwifery and the rest of them, you've got the opportunity once you get onto level 3. For level 2, it's kind of like a stepping stone onto level 3. And level 2 is normally 1 year. I think Tanya didn't mention that, but I think it's important you know that. So the level 2 is the qualification, which is equivalent to 4 GCSEs, and it kind of puts you in a position to be able to handle the level 3 stuff, which is the A-level kind of qualification. Again, it's about training you. It's about giving you knowledge, not just the skills like we looked at the 6 C's, which are skills, but within those, within the subject areas, you should be able to now develop the knowledge how to handle different situations. Now, if you look at the first one, it's split into, the screen is split into 2. There's year 1 topics, and there's also year 2 topics. Now, for the year 1, as you can see there, human lifespan development is at the top of that, and it's an exam unit. So what that means is when you come in onto level 3, you'll do all we can within 3 months, literally, to be able to sit an exam in January. So when you come back from Christmas, you go straight into the exam, and you have to get a certain amount of points for you to be able. Now, unfortunately for this course, if you fail the exam unit, chances are you'll not progress, or your grading will really be interfered with, and you're likely to fail the whole course. So it's really very important that when you come into the college, settle down really quick. Literally in the first week, you should have settled down and gotten to grips with how things are done. So it's really important that you psychologically prepare yourself for that commitment like we talked about. Okay. There's other units, as you can see there. Now, a unit, some of you don't probably understand what a unit is. We've got one subject, which is health and social care. Now, within health and social care, you get different topics, which is what we're now calling units. So the subject is health and social care, but the units are the main topics that you'll cover, or those that will equip you to be the nurse, to be the midwife, to be the social worker that you want to be at university, after university, that is. Now, the other unit is working in health and social care. Okay, again, that's an exam. So you got 2 exams in the first year, and as you can see on the second year, you'll also have 2 exams to make 4 exams all together for the 2 years you're going to be here. Now, you can see there's meeting individual care and support needs, again, equipping you with knowledge and information about how to care for people. And while you're doing that, you're being sensitive, and you're covering all the 6 C's as we talked about. Work experience is mandatory in health and social care. There is no way you can qualify without having done a work experience. So there's two choices or two chances of going for work experience. One will be obviously with children, because health and social care deals with all the age ranges. So there'll be block work experience for 2 weeks, where you'll have a feel of working in children's kind of situations, maybe in a nursery, primary school, and the college will place you there. Okay. There's also another chance, another 2 weeks, which will be with adults, maybe in care homes, in a nursing home, and so many other settings. If you don't know about these settings, you learn them as you get on with the program, and obviously the teacher will introduce you to these settings, so you're aware and know exactly how to behave when you go there. The other one is supporting principles of safe practice. Obviously, you've seen what has happened with all the COVID situation. Safety is number one. So that is also very, very crucial for us to do within the level 3 qualification. So if you end up doing a job, it's not just always going to university. Some people decide, you know what, after the 2 years, I probably want to go straight into a job. And if you decide that, then you're well equipped to know how to do things in a safe way. The other one is supporting individuals with additional needs. Again, that is just to give you an edge so you can learn how to deal with people with other bigger problems than just, the standard, someone has is admitted to the hospital, but you're looking at additional needs, people with learning difficulties and so on and so forth. Then the second year has an equal amount of units, if you can imagine. So promoting public health, I'll be teaching that. And then you have psychology, which again gives you another very important aspect of learning how to behave or what to expect when people are behaving in a certain way. So it's a really, really important one. Caring for individuals with dementia, again, we thought that is really important for you because not so many people know about dementia. You might be specialist in dementia. So starting off at level 3 will be very, very important. Nutrition, again, very important. Anatomy and physiology, you need to know how the body works. So you can actually, help someone or, diagnose someone with a problem. The other one is research. That's very important. You'll be learning how to do research, obviously, because you're going to go into uni. Uni is a must. You'll have to develop your own dissertation and so forth. So the basics of research will be covered in this course. So if you've got any questions, please wait till the end, and then we can probably respond individually or as a whole group of teachers. So that's me done, Rahima.
Thanks, Eric. I think that leads us to this question. So this is all about the different ways you're going to be assessed. Eric did kind of run through the exams, but apart from the exams, you will have some essays, some reports, presentations, and there will also be some practical and role plays involved as well. And then I think it takes us to our Q&A session. So I'm sure you guys have still got lots and lots of questions. If you write down your question in the chat box, and then one of us will answer them for you. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to write down your questions in the chat box.
Okay, my name is Edet. I will be teaching you partly in both years 1 and 2. Your timetable would have you coming in every day of the week, as far as I do know. You will not be having sessions. You will not be in class all of the sessions of each day. You will have huge chunks of time in between classes, and it's expected that in the times that you're not in class, you would be using the in-college facilities to catch up with work, either be it coursework or other out-of-class learning preparation. But as far as I know, every student will be in college every day. Sometimes the timetable allows for students to not be in college for one of the 5 days, but this is not a guarantee at all. It will depend on what the situation is come September. And that is usually decided by senior management, and we simply get presented the timetable just like you would be presented. So yeah, you will have free periods every day. There's reasonable free periods between the within the periods that you will be with teachers. We cannot guarantee that you will have one whole day free at all out of the 5.
Okay. And that's about textbooks. Can I answer that one?
Okay. For textbooks, these are the days where uh, the world is turning to go, electronic. So there is a designated textbook that covers all of the units that you have been mentioned. There is such a textbook. You would not, in my view, as at now, in my to my understanding, as at now, be each given a textbook physically. That situation may well change when you do come in, but I doubt that, because it hasn't been the practice in the last 3, 4, 5 years. So what you will have is access to online copies of the designated textbooks. You would also have access to other resources apart from the textbooks, which again will be largely online.
Mix of face-to-face and also using things like Google Classroom for the teaching, which is good stuff. Okay, so we're almost there, a bit conscious of time, but do we have any other questions regarding the units, the college itself, the teachers, and anything that you might want to know about studying health and social care? Yeah, it seems like that's it for the questions. Hopefully that was a good generic view of what we can offer. So there is a question.
Oh, how long are the sessions?
How long are the sessions? Your lessons can go from 1 hour to 1 hour, 10 minutes, as of what the timetables are at the moment. And then it depends. Sometimes you have a 10 minutes or a 15 minutes break in between those. So in a day, you would have like 5 different periods if you had a full day. So 3 lessons in the morning and then 2 in the afternoon. But no lessons, no teaching day goes beyond 4:35 in the afternoon. Okay, so the lessons are not too long, hopefully, but they should be just enough for us to make sure that you leave the classroom having learned something new in each of those sessions. Yeah.
Can we leave the building at breaks? I am not sure I know the specific yes or no answer to this one.
Okay.
No, I understand the question to mean, mandatory. Anyway, you are free to leave the building, but obviously we do have a swipe in and swipe out system. It will be recorded electronically when you are in the building. We don't expect you to leave the building, obviously, when you're not supposed to be out of the building, i.e. in class times. But during breaks, yes, you can leave the building. What time do we start? That will depend on your timetable. All classes do start at 9 if you have a first period in class. If you don't have a first period in class, then obviously your first lesson will be when the next period starts. So if your first lesson on your timetable, if you're free on your timetable for period 1, which starts at 9, it's highly likely that your second lesson, which might start at 10:25 thereabouts, would be your first lesson for that day. And so that's how it works. It depends upon what your timetable actually presents you.
All right, next question. Do we have a tutor? Would someone else like to take on that one, please?
Yep, you will have a tutor. So you'll have teachers, which are all your health and social care teachers that you met today on this induction. And we do have a very, very incredible pastoral tutor team. And you will be allocated a formal tutor. And this tutor will look after all of your needs. We'll keep an eye out for your attendance, for your behavior, for your progress, and they will also be in touch with your parents if you start falling behind and things like that. So yes, you will have a tutor, and that will be your first port of call if you have any issues. Yep, and Leon, that leads me back to, yes, you do have form classes. I think you have one a week, and then you have one slot for a one-to-one. So your form tutor might also schedule one-to-ones with you as well. So you have one form class where you'll be with your whole class and your form tutor, and then you might also have a one-to-one every few weeks in addition to that. Okay. Are there any more questions? Anything else we can help you with?
Okay, that seems to be it for now. So you will be in very good hands. Okay, the team is very knowledgeable, very well experienced, and then we'll be here to support you. As Rahima just explained, we have a tutorial team, very well knowledgeable as well. Student services, the whole college has a range of supporting resources and knowledgeable individuals who will be here just to make sure that you achieve what you want to achieve and progress on to university, employment, and apprenticeship, anything that you want to you aspire for your own academic and personal life. Okay. This is next bit, just information about enrollment. Um, so should normally be on on Thursday, the 12th of August. The information is on there if you can make a note of it. But the bottom line is the college will contact you if any of those changes. If it does not change, then at least you know the date. They'll call you or they will send you an email or a text to remind you that you need to come in for enrollment. And then once you're here, you'll be given all the information that you need, including timetables, including any other resources that you might require before the start of your course. Um, then yes, I think that's basically it for now, isn't it?
Just before we go, if you look at the information that you have on screen now, please take note of the first bullet point, which says that if you have already applied to the college, you will receive a link via email to enroll the day before your GCSE results day. I just wanted to draw your attention to that because it's absolutely important.
Yep.
It's easy for you to miss that day in the bustle of holiday mode. It's very easy for students to miss it. We've known this to happen. So make a note of that the day before GCSE results day, to check your email, because the link will come to you on that day, so that when you do get your results, that's the link you then use to alert the college that you're coming in. That's absolutely important.
Right, and if you haven't applied yet, do so as quickly as possible via newvic.ac.uk and apply. Okay. Then once you receive your result, as I just said, make sure you click on the link on your email and then upload your results. Okay. Then we will contact you from that moment on. Okay. We don't have a specific let's call it dress free to wear. What I want to say, you're free to wear the kind of clothes that you're comfortable with. Okay. I'm very conscious of time. Unfortunately, that's our time for today. If any other questions do come up, you can always contact the college, and then they can direct it to us, and then we can come back to you, whatever possible. Okay. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming in, for taking part, and we are all looking forward to teaching you from September onwards.
Here, this is Dion Anedet.
Well, thank you very much.
Bye.